is my favorite part of the Riot Conference. This is the Women's Luncheon, and we are blessed this year to have the one, the only, the amazing Tamela Mann as our honoree this year. Welcome, Miss Mann, to the 2021 Riot Conference.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you for the recognition. That is a blessing. Thank you.
Well, you are recognized. You've been recognized by the Grammys. You have won multiple Stellar Awards, actually Lifetime Achievement Award from the Stellars, and the NAACP Award. But most importantly, you've been such an inspiration, and you've set such an amazing example for women. And that's why it was important for us to recognize you this year, and then also have this conversation with you just about how you've managed to maintain, how you've managed to balance your career and continue to inspire others.
Well, thank you. I'm trying. It's a lot of work, but it takes a really honestly, I'm making a joke, but it really takes a good team to help those things. I didn't do it by myself. I would
Mhm.
never try to take all the credit. I had a great team, my family, my husband, and just other people around me, like Vaughn and other TKO, which is just other people just helping me maneuver and in order helping me order my steps.
Well, we've been able to see you, like I said, we were introduced to you on television and, of course, through your music. But before we get into that and the new album, Overcomer, I would like to talk a little bit about who Tamela Mann was as a younger woman, because we know this conversation, this conference, especially the Women's Luncheon, we try to highlight women at various stages of their lives and talk about, how younger women can be inspired and mentored by the older generation and vice versa. So talk to us about your beginnings. How did this inspiration start?
My beginning was actually as for those who have followed me, I grew up in the church and I just fell in love with singing early, and because I grew up really poor, it's like, but really you don't know you poor when everybody else around you look like you and doing the same things that you're doing. But I felt like a couple of people was doing a little bit better than me because they could take trips. I couldn't take no trips because they ain't had no money. We didn't have no car, no car.
No car.
So raised in Texas, and you hear that southern drawl that I have. But I thank God for my faith. My faith has helped me build and find myself.
Mhm.
Church actually saved me. Singing actually saved me. I really believe from a lot of things that was around me that I could have got caught up in, like alcohol and drugs, like everybody else, and getting caught up, just making, just going down the wrong lane. Basically, I'm not saying whatever anybody else done was wrong, but it really helped me make better decisions, looking at my family and decisions they made for myself as a young girl, that I didn't want to be in an abusive relationship because I
Mhm.
seen abuse where I had a sister to get shot, they've
Mhm.
been stabbed. I mean, it's just a bunch of things that happened that I saw as a kid that gave me direction just from looking and watching. Don't do that. Just make some different things, decisions for yourself.
Mhm.
Singing again was it. Really fell in love with singing at 12 years old, and it helped me again find myself. Like, this is something that I like to do, and then I fell in love with it around 12, 13. I was like, this is it. This is what I can do, and let's go. Let's get it. By the time I was 12 years old, I was singing in the senior choir at our church,
Wow.
but I came in serious, about it. I wasn't coming in playing, and I was really, really shy.
Mhm.
I was very fearful to like speak in front of people. Like now, even with this album now, this last one here, Overcomer, has really helped me see myself to
Mhm.
overcome fear. That it's okay if you're scared, because some things you got to do it afraid in order
Gotta.
to make it happen. And again, being young and singing in church, from church to church, hopping from that's basically. Then I started singing with Kirk Franklin. um Actually, we met at he was 15 and I was like 18 when I met Kirk, and we started singing in a small group. My husband David and another young man, those three were, and Dara Blair, were singing together. So I started singing, and then we started the group. We took off, and then after singing with Kirk Franklin, started another group, Kirk Franklin and the Family. We
Mhm.
started going, and when that ended, I teamed up with David, and I teamed up with Tyler Perry and started doing the plays.
Yeah.
David pushed me and said, "Okay, after we doing the plays, okay, you're gonna do your own album. I'm trying to hurry y'all, so it won't be boring." So we went from that to now. So here we are. That's how Tamela Mann came about. But she was a scared little girl that, didn't have much. But, I love the Lord. Mama say, love the Lord with your whole heart, and God will take you far. And God has done just that. And whatever you do it 100%. She called me Tammy. Now, I don't know why she named me Tamela, y'all, but she called me Tammy all the time. So that's something else that you guys got from me. But that's Tam. That's Tamela.
Yeah. Well, I want to, I love that the purpose that you were able to find that connection so early in life. I wonder, I've seen you perform live, and watching you live or even watching you on television, even listening to you in the car, there's something about your voice that I want to say it heals. It makes you peaceful, and there's a response that you get from people when you sing. When is the first time you recognize, or when did you recognize that your voice had that effect on people, and that you were able to actually help or make people feel something with your voice?
Crystal, now I got some tissue right here, so I'm trying not to be crying this morning. But actually, I've realized it. I started singing at 8 years old. I
Mhm.
go back to the childhood. My first song was by James Cleveland. I Don't Feel No Ways Tired.
Mhm.
I would be singing this song with the Sunshine Band, the little kids, and I would get so emotional that before I ended the song, the whole church would be up and they would be crying and worshiping with me. I
Mhm.
didn't understand what was happening. So it really started early, that. And then my uncle, he started a broadcast. So I started having to wake up early to start singing on the broadcast for our church, Faith for the Way. And it's like, I didn't really understand what was happening to me, but I was just taking the ride. I was
Mhm.
just taking the ride, Crystal, and I was just and it wasn't that I was being notarized, because after I would sing, I would go sit down but because I would be crying, and I didn't know why I was being moved, not knowing that it was the Holy Spirit that was taking over me as a kid. And I get so emotional. So early is when I found out that I had something. I
Mhm.
didn't know exactly what that something was, but as
Mhm.
time progressed, I know that it was the anointing of God that He's granted me, and I thank Him for that favor that He's granted me.
Well, it's undeniable because I've seen you. It doesn't matter what if it's playing on the radio, or if it's, like I said, if you're right in front of you or you're watching you on TV, that anointing comes through. What was the difference from going from doing that in church for, with family and an intimate circle, to working with Kirk Franklin and being in front of people, in front of thousands and eventually, hundreds of thousands of people? What was that transition like for
Scared.
you?
I was so afraid. I was happy with just being in the background. But I like to lead. So when I would go out, if anybody would go back and see any of the past videos, I always had my eyes closed.
Mhm.
Even when as a kid, I always sung with my eyes closed, because I felt like if I just shut everybody out and just go with it, it was an incredible. It's been it's been an incredible journey, and it's nothing but the favor of God, and I'm just so happy for that. But to be able to just sing behind Him, I thought that was the world. I
Mhm.
was, I just felt like I had found my place, my purpose,
Mhm.
and I was happy with it. But when it came to an end, Crystal, I felt like the day Kirk told us, he was like, okay, we're not gonna, we're gonna take a sabbatical, and I'm not gonna do the family anymore. I cried. So I felt like, and I was grown, good and grown, kids married. I cried. I went home. I had just took a shower, got ready, because we met. I'm just gonna give you a little backstory real quick.
Mhm.
We went and had lunch, and he, at this place, this restaurant. He was like, he told us it wasn't gonna be anymore.
Mhm.
I didn't want to eat after that. And I was thinking, like, I know what my call was to be behind you, is to push you, pray for you, and still sing, but still just be back there and not just dancing behind you, just being happy to be on stage. That, you really need people to be praying for you, because you really don't. it's like to see the expressions of people and the things that people, just to look at people's faces when you're up there in front of them, you can be distracted. So
Yeah.
you really do need somebody to be praying for you while you're up there. So, but once I left doing that and started standing on my own, I was scared.
Mm,
And the plays is what really, Tyler helped me really, and David, to become an artist.
mm-hmm.
Because when I was with Kirk, I was just singing and
Yeah.
happy to be doing it and worshiping and all that. And but when I started doing the plays, that actually helped me find my artistry. Because he was like, you gotta sing and move that the people, cause that they can feel you.
Mm-hmm.
And it started making sense to me
Yeah.
that, if you standing there like a stump on a log, people gonna be looking at you like, what? But
Right.
if you really hear what you're saying and feel what you're saying, it helps people to feel what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that part. So it's a great feeling, but a scary feeling, because when you become an artist and stand out there in the front on your own, you take all the pressure. It's like you see all the people, so it's because all eyes are on you.
It's all coming at you. What
Right.
it seems like so far, if you guys are just joining us, we are, of course, talking with the absolutely amazing Tamela Mann here at the Riot Conference. This is our women's luncheon. And a consistent theme so far through this interview has been to do it even when you're afraid, to push through the fear.
Yes.
Push through the fear initially, early on, and then behind Kirk Franklin, and then on plays on the road, and then to her own, starring on a television show, and then, of course, a solo artist out in front. So that being able to push through the fear seems to have been able to, a consistent thing that you've done and taken it from levels to the next level to the next level. So I got to ask you, one of the things that I was excited to talk to you about, because when I remember seeing you for the first few times on House, on Tyler Perry shows, it's like she's playing with her husband.
Meet the Browns.
Meet the Browns, and you guys are playing, and you're not playing husband and wife. It's a lot of comedy, but I'm thinking, how are they able to transition into those roles on a regular basis and then transition back into being husband and wife? It's hilarious to watch, but it's just, anyone that knows the dynamic of a married couple is like, they have got to be like either the best friends ever, or they have to have some type of weird thing going on that we don't know about. So talk to us about playing with your husband constantly, consistently in these roles, and then how you all are able to transition into having the loving relationship that you do off screen.
I love, first, again, there's that fear again. That's why this Overcomer is really like big for me with this album, Overcomer,
Mhm.
because I can see how I have overcame, but I'm still overcoming things
Yes.
as of this day. But working with David has been a joy for me, because it was honestly something I always prayed for in a
Mhm.
husband. I never dreamed that we would be playing father and daughter. That
Right.
I didn't see that forecoming. But to work together with him is, to me, it's like, because he makes me laugh, and he really is my friend.
Mhm.
He's my best friend, and we have learned to we know everything about each other. I
Yeah.
mean, it took him a while to kind of pull everything out of me, because that talking thing that I didn't want to do. I was like, some things I thought I just supposed to hold on to.
Yeah.
But we talk about everything, and we really enjoy it. And we've learned how to separate home from work.
Mm.
Even though we could have a drag, knockdown, drag out argument, but when it comes to going and filming or whatever we got to do, he got to be on stage, I got to be on stage. It's like we leave it at the house or at the hotel, and when we come back, we finish, because we always want to get an understanding
Yeah.
and on everything. Sometimes we've learned over the years. It's been 33 years for us being married, and yes,
Congratulations.
it's been a
That's
great ride, but we've had more happy days than sad days. We don't have a perfect marriage, but
mhm.
we're working through it. It's like we decided divorce is not an option, but working with David is like incredible for me, because a lot of times I mess up and I mess the scene up and we have to redo it, because I laugh at him
Yeah,
when
he's
we're
hilarious.
filming. I laugh at him a lot. They call me the audience cast member, because I'm laughing like I've never heard these lines doing rehearsal or anything. I just enjoy it. And he always say he's gonna charge me that I gotta start paying him because I have, not dealing with a bunch of sicknesses because I'm laughing so much.
Mhm.
The joy is in me, so but I really love him, and he's helped me to become the artist that I am. And I just can't. I sometimes I don't feel like I couldn't have done it without him.
That's beautiful.
And I just
How did
I
you guys
couldn't
meet?
see
Because
life without him.
how did you all meet? We 33 years and we've met you all together. Tell us about your love story? How did you guys meet? You were blessed to be able to find love early and find your passion early, but talk to us about the beginning before you all were the David and Tamela man that we know today.
Okay, now just for backstory, we did do a book. It's called Us Against the World. So
Okay.
I'm not gonna give you the whole story. I'm gonna give you some of the story.
Give
For
us a
those who
little
are
snip.
watching, go pick it up. We did a love project together that we're singing to each other and for each other. So it's called Us Against the World, the Love Project, Us Against the World, Our Secrets of Marriage and Family on for the book. Okay. Now my best friend went to school with David,
Okay.
Kirk, and my pastor, the first little group I was telling you guys about, the
Mm-hmm.
Humble Hearts. So she told him, I know somebody who can out sing y'all. Now I'm like 18. She was like 16 at the time. She brings me, well, she asked her grandmother to bring us to the school. And I met them like in their chorus room. And they were just in there singing and rehearsing. And I came in and they all just looked at me, because I was the little thick, chubby girl. So it wasn't like I was the most beautifulest thing to walk in the room. But I walked in and I was like, hey, and I sung for them. And this same weekend, because they were singing gospel music too as a group, we
Mm-hmm.
kept running into each other. Like, well, I was actually doing something on that Friday. I invited them to come hear me sing at this church. So
Mm-hmm.
David and Daryl came to hear me sing. Kirk didn't come. The following Sunday, I ran into them at this other musical, and I was like, these dudes are bad. They really had the best harmony. They were really, really good. They had it. They had the aura. It's like all the girls was following them and hollering, whoa, even though we sing gospel music. So after a few times of seeing each other, they asked me to sing with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I started singing with them, and me and David, we was starting to just kind of talk. We was basically, we started singing together. We was in a group. We was kind of being secret lovers. We was the oldest of all the guys. So we kind of started fooling around a little bit, being
Okay.
honest.
That's some good tea that David and Tamela man were secret lovers initially.
And we were. We were, and everybody, even our group members, the guys, because it was all guys and me.
Okay.
So they called us like the gospel Gladys and the Pips. It's so we start, seeing each other, and then we start talking on the phone a lot. And I really enjoyed his company as a teenager. Well, he would call me, of course, what you doing? I'm washing dishes and stuff like that.
Right.
And we just started growing as a friend. And I noticed even with the guys, David was protecting me, y'all, when we were teenagers. Like if the guys was playing, harsh playing, he would always tell them, no, she's a girl, don't be playing rough with her and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. And he's still like that to this day. And we start going together. And then his first child was born. And I went to the hospital with him when the baby was born, when Portia was born. And
Mm-hmm.
I sit the whole, I was off that day because I graduated right before David. So I was working and I was off that day. And when the young lady was going into labor, he was like, you ain't got to go to work. Come go with me. So I rode with him, went to the hospital, sit the whole 21 hours.
Wow.
Until the baby came and all of that. And we just started just growing. And then we just fell in love. At first, my best friend who introduced us
Mm-hmm.
went off on David. Now she
Uh-oh.
cussed him out and was like, this girl like you, and this and she's helping you with this baby, and you just acting like. And after that,
Yeah,
he
you needed a
really,
friend. You needed a friend to pull them together a little bit.
well, yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
So I'm sorry, somebody called it, but it's just amazing how and that's kind of how it happened. We were secret lovers. That was our song. Secret love.
And it seems like you guys built a real friendship. I see Portia says yes to protection. I want to ask you real quickly because relationships are something that we talk about. They're in the headlines. We see celebrity relationships that people are obsessed with, but I think it's people are obsessed with them because we know that we're all dealing with that ourselves. You know,
Right.
everyone's looking for that love that will be their support system and their partner. What advice would you give women to knowing if that man is someone that she should, put investment in? I love what you said about him being very protective of you early on. So can
Mhm.
you give younger women or just women in general some advice on what they should be expecting out of a life partner so that we can, have that type of relationship, that 33 years of love relationship that you guys have accomplished?
Well, for me, I wrote down honestly what I wanted in my man. I
Mhm.
did. I wrote down, and then one thing that kind of veered off is I said no kids, but then he wound up having a daughter.
And off too.
That was a little, but I wanted somebody that did the same things that I did and understood what I did. And the Lord blessed me and I didn't want anybody who smoked or drink because I didn't want to help them quit because I didn't do those things.
Right.
So I was being specific on what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And if I could tell any young lady right now that's watching or will hear this, know your value. That's
Mm-hmm.
something that my mom, she had a third grade learning. So some things mom didn't tell us. But
Mm-hmm.
if I could tell anybody, my grandkids, my kids, know your worth. Because when you know your worth, you won't just be subject to yielding to a whole bunch of things. And I
Mm-hmm.
know a lot of times people say when you don't have a good father, people search for it and look for it in a man. But that can go a little bit different too from just looking at my own girls because they had a good daddy. But
Yeah.
some people want to do what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But know your worth and it'll help you and have standards. Make
Mm-hmm.
some standards for yourself. Just because if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do that. I
Right.
mean, you don't have to let a guy talk you into something you don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you do it because you want to do it. I
Right.
mean, but make sure that you're thinking about it, kind of give yourself, look at the whole picture.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just don't look at the right now because you think like, oh, he like me right now, he love me that. In the end, but just look at his past. Like if he got kids, how's he with his kids?
Yes.
How's he with his
Yes.
mother? You want if he takes care and see after his mom, I mean he gonna take care and see after you.
There you
But if
go.
he doesn't, that's showing traits right there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Don't don't turn off the things that you see that this person is really not good for you. Don't turn that off
Mm-hmm.
because you're just asking basically, honestly, for trouble for yourself,
Down.
heartache,
Mm-hmm.
pain that you don't even have to suffer to go through if
Mm-hmm.
you just pay attention to the signs. That's one
Absolutely.
thing that I would give y'all that I didn't do. I did give myself to people that did not deserve me.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, because I didn't know my worth.
Yeah.
So when you learn and you help, you tell people. So that's what I'm doing today. I just want to encourage you to know your worth. No, just kind of figure this thing out, even if you got to write it down for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That what you would want in life, where you want to go in life. Set you some goals because goals really do help you fight and strive for something. And you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to get stuck in your neighborhood and feel like you're in this box. Woo! You can overcome. You can achieve those things. It takes a little work. It's not gonna come easy.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you looking at me, y'all looking at it like, man, she doing it. No, it has not been this easy for me. There
Mm-hmm.
was a time in my life as a teenager that we were dumpster diving. What that means is we was getting food out of the dumpster.
Mm-hmm.
It was a time before David, we were dating, and I just was going through a bunch of things, and I was about to be living in my used car,
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I didn't have anywhere to go, but his mom allowed me to come and stay with them. And then we wind up, it's worked out for us. But
Mm-hmm.
just know your value, everybody. Know your worth. And I promise you, it'll help you along the way.
Well, we are getting some gems, that good old fashioned wisdom that we I don't think get a chance to hear as often as we need to. If you all are just joining, this is the RIDE Conference, it's the Women's Luncheon, and we're talking with the one and only Tamela Mann, and she's dropping gems onto us. We've heard push through fear, do it when you're afraid, and of course, know your worth, know your value, write it down and use those goals to help you fight through life. Now, we talked about the beginning and you all meeting and how your love story happened. But one of the things that I realize that women deal with is being able to not lose themselves in their marriage, keeping that balance. So a lot of times we see women become mothers, become wives, become employees, and we become a servant to everything around us and lose ourselves. Can you talk to us a little bit about how Tamela Mann, the woman, learned how to keep that balance so that she didn't lose herself in that marriage, in being an artist, in being an actress, in all those things all those many hats that you wear on a
Woo!
daily basis?
Well, what I have learned over the years is you have to take time for you, that me time.
Mhm.
I've learned, I didn't know this early on with the kids because that's true, but I did learn early that if you are in a relationship or marriage and you have kids, remember it's you and your husband. Get under this camera. You and your husband, and then it's the kids.
Mm.
You know that spark thing like they used to
Mhm.
do on Star Trek? This right here.
Yeah,
So
what is
it's you and your husband, and then
and the
it's
kids?
everything else. So
Wow.
you build from this, but then in the midst of you building, don't because what happens too in a relationship in your me time is you put all the time into the baby. Yes,
Mhm.
you have to care for them and take care of them, nurture them, but you have to take care of you and you have to take care of him because y'all are gonna take care of the kids.
Mm.
Even though they may not be, because some men are not like baby changers and bathe the kids. Now, David was all of those things. I have to give it to him. Whatever I needed, he would
Lucky.
even try to comb hair and all of that. So he was, and he would wake up, we would take times with the kids. But I learned to have me time. I'm just trying to give y'all a whole bunch of stuff in our little
Mhm.
time that we got,
Mhm.
that we are having right now. But I'm enjoying you guys. Hope you're enjoying it. But make sure that you separate it, meaning like if you get your nails done, your feet, or if you're a reader, you go to the park or outside with your coffee in the tub, uh,
Mhm.
wherever you can get that time. I really like driving in my car by myself
Mhm.
with no music on or
Mhm.
nothing on and just ride in silence.
Yeah.
That helps me keep my sanity. So you have to find whatever that is that you like and make some time for you. Tell your family, I love you, but I just need some me time. I even had to learn that. You know how sometimes during the month we get snappy,
Oh yeah.
and I had to tell my kids, because David really, honestly, my husband has been a lot of gems, y'all. He's helped me through a lot. He was like, "Now we just can't keep fighting every time you come on your cycle and you just go. You got to get yourself together and not just be snapping and going off." And when he told me that, it made me really start seeing myself, y'all,
Yeah.
that even though we be emotional, but you know when to unfold. Like for instance, if you mad at work and your boss say something, you're not just gonna go off on that man
Yeah.
or that woman,
There's consequences to that.
right? So
There'll
you
be
have to.
consequences.
So it's the same. You have to remember to give that same honor and due to the person that you're living with, that you're with,
Mhm.
and even the kids. And I had to tell them, okay, I need a minute. Give me a
Yeah.
minute and then I'm come back to it. And when I started when he helped me figure that out and grab that, it started helping me along the way. I'm trying to learn that with this menopause thing. Because this is a whole nother thing that's going on up in here. Woo!
But we need
But
to talk about, I think people need to hear real conversations. And that's why I'm so thankful that you are being so candid, because yes, we enjoy, listening, and we enjoy being entertained. But at the end of the day, when you have people's attention, they need to hear that real life wisdom,
yeah,
and how to handle real issues. And so it's so fitting that this album is titled Overcomer, because we're
mm-hmm,
talking about all the things that happen in life that we all have to overcome, no matter how successful you are or where you
that's
are.
right.
So I want you to tell us about this album because I read that you said that you believe this is your best one yet, which I cannot imagine. But you know, hey, we are on this road with you. We're on this ride with you. So I'm excited about this album. But you have always delivered such amazing, soul stirring projects that it's hard to believe that this could be even better. But
It
talk to us about the inspiration for Overcomer.
Overcomer comes from like what I was just saying with I've been dealing with health and wellness my weight my whole life.
Mm-hmm,
It's been 5 years since I released the project.
mm-hmm,
So the health and wellness, the menopause, the actual my double knee replacement. I had the double knee replacement, and then I started working on the album.
mm-hmm.
Then the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
So working on this album had and just my life things that I've been going through, it really helped me, and it helped me decide what to call the album.
Mm,
And when this song happened, I've been working day and night. That's the over. I'm
mm,
sick and tired of like some of the things that's going on around me that I got to change some things around me. The circle that I'm in. That's the overcomer in me. Like, okay, we got to make some changes. We got to do some different things. You got to wiggle some wires and make some things happen. But overcomer let me know, and like we were talking about the fear thing. I'm not afraid to just ask for help,
mhm,
afraid to just let people to be vulnerable or let your guard down. That look, I'm gonna put my pride aside. I'm dealing with this menopause, y'all. It was about to not take me out of here, but
mhm,
I really feel like I was going into a depression because I didn't know what was happening to
mhm,
me.
mhm,
And it's like you can be happy, then all of a sudden you just feel sad. Then I was crying on every hand about any and everything. It was worse than my pregnancy. So
mm.
I was just like, my God, Lord, you got to help me. So I just wanted to talk about it. And my first lady told me, she said, Tam, because I was praying, asking the Lord to let it pass.
Right.
And she was like, Tam, you got to go through this so you can help somebody because people are not talking about it. And I really sit, like you just was saying, Crystal, like people are not talking about a
Mm-mm,
lot of life issues.
mhm,
It's like, it's hard for us to get on national TV to talk about the happiness of marriage. You
mhm,
got to be fighting, beat me up, done shot
mhm,
me, almost killed me before I can get to talk about that you can't have a great relationship. No,
mhm,
they don't want to hear that.
mhm,
But you can have a great relationship. And this album is really helping me see I can overcome, I can conquer. I
mm,
mean, with God's help that He is the I am, He's the source of my strength. So I have to go to Him to regain my strength.
mm,
And so Overcomer has all these different, and we even talk about Hello God. I did a song with Kirk Franklin and Wycliffe John. It's my happy song.
yeah,
You wake up in the morning, you say good morning to everybody in the house, but do we wake up and give God thanks like, hello, God, thank you. I just
mhm,
want you to know that I recognize that you're there and that you're with me. And I just want you to bless my day. And I just want to give you thanks for the day in advance,
mm,
just things like that. But this album is really well rounded. It's something for everybody. I'm talking about the song Help Me on there that we did a
yes,
video. You can go to YouTube and
yeah.
watch it on Man TV, and Touch From You. That we do need a touch from God right now, especially with this pandemic and everything going on. Ain't
Everything.
nobody else can touch us and heal us like God.
I wanted to ask you for the Help Me video. It's like you're doing a therapy session.
It is.
And so that's what that's what it is out. You're talking to a therapist. And so I wanted to ask you about, Zena Brown asked in the comments, what are you taking? But tell us about of your journey with menopause. Do you go to therapy? Are you on something? What has this journey been like for you so far?
I haven't, David did all the research on menopause for me, y'all. There you go again. He the computer whiz. I'm not.
We got to get some.
So he doing everything. He doing it all. He my therapist. But honestly, I haven't went to therapy, but I'm trying to find that one for me. But I honestly, me and David has been sitting and talking to each other, like
Mhm,
talking through this thing and like how to figure it out. And with prayer, first of all,
mhm,
y'all know I'm going to God,
mhm.
because just like the video says, I'm showing you that it's okay. We know where our help comes from. It comes from God, but it's okay to go to a therapist. And
Yeah.
it's okay, like you see me busting in the doors of the church, like, hey, I need prayer. I
Yeah.
need some help.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to give people different ins and outs of how we could take the help, and it's okay to ask for it. A lot of times we're afraid, we don't want people to know, I'm down right now, I'm going through, and that's just what we put ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
that you're the only one and you're not the only one.
Yeah.
A lot of us are going through the same things. We just may have different times when it hit, but
Mm-hmm.
it's hitting home with everybody. And
Yeah.
if you're a woman,
It's coming. It's
it's
coming.
coming.
I was praying that Lord would let that cup pass from me, but now I see I shouldn't pray for that. I just need to pray for the strength so I can be an inspiration to someone else. But that was the prayer that was in the back of my head. Like, I know this is eventually coming.
Well, I'm not alone. See,
Oh my
you wasn't alone,
goodness.
because
Oh,
I was
so
definitely praying that.
you have
Like, oh
inspired
God,
me.
we gotta deal with people, talking, be around people, and then it's like my daughter told me one day, Mom, just put on some shades, because your eyes is saying like you would burn them up if you. I mean, I'm like, really? So my family is really helping me walk through this thing, and it's a journey, guys. But this album is my journey, that God did all this for me, that He's the healer, that He's gonna heal us through this pandemic. He's gonna heal your individual, whatever that you're dealing with, high blood pressure, diabetes. He can, but we just have to. We got to condition ourselves. We
Yes.
have to condition ourselves, make better choices for ourselves, and we can do it. And I'm learning to face the facts about me.
Mm.
Learn to face the facts about you, of what you need to change. Not try to push it on everybody else, like and you
Hmm.
need to, because we Black women, come on, y'all. And
You go
and you see my neck, and we can go
right.
there. But
Right.
we have to turn the mirror around, turn the camera around, look at yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and say, Lord, work on me, fix me, and then fix what's going on around me.
Because that will probably, we focus on ourselves, the problem may fix itself.
It,
I got to ask you, because you mentioned early on, just, dealing with, like, saying that you came to see David and you knew that you were the chubbier girl. Later, we saw you go through to Weight Watchers. And I wondered, I never, watching you and being a fan, you never I was like, well, she's so amazing. She's so beautiful. What was it about the offer for Weight Watchers that made you decide to take that up and actually go through that process publicly and share that with people?
Once I sit and I'm no longer with them right now, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a great program.
Mm-hmm.
When I sit and I was praying about, do I need to connect with them?
Mm-hmm.
That's where the song "Help Me" came from.
Wow.
The strength to do it on my own,
Mm.
and I'm like, Lord. And when it came to, honestly, they came to me,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I think this will be a great opportunity for me. That's where the word completion came from.
Mm-hmm.
And I took completion and I looked it up and found that finish was in it. And I realized that I've been a procrastinator. So I have to stop procrastinating and look at me again, face the facts about myself,
Mm-hmm.
that we start a lot of things in our lives, like in our homes. You start cleaning up one room, you ain't even finished in there, and you want to start cleaning up in another room.
Yeah.
It's just starting. I want to finish it. I want to complete it. So when I joined with them, they helped me realize that I can complete,
Mm-hmm.
and it's still a part of my overcoming. Every day is not the best day, because I don't make the best choices every day. I ain't gonna lie, and I'm trying to, just stick to it. Focus and finish. That was a part of my
Focus,
task. So
finish. Yeah.
it's like something that I'm still working on. That
Mm-hmm.
I gotta stay focused. I gotta finish this.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm tired of dealing with this. If I want to get better at whatever it is that we're dealing with, we got to just concentrate on it and finish it. So that's my prayer, like, Lord, help me stay focused, help me finish this task. Not that I want to be skinny, I don't. I
Right.
just want to be healthier and not be a liability and heartache, because eventually it's going to fall on somebody. If you
Yes.
don't take care of yourself, it's going to fall on your family members or your children or whoever that's close to you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how that came about, and that's how the song "Help Me" came about as well.
Wow. Well, I thank you for sharing that, because again, I think we live in such a externally, praised driven world. Everyone is trying to be perfect. And especially for women, there's a different set of standards. And I just wonder how you've dealt with that over the years, just being yourself, learning how to be happy in your own skin, learning how to be at peace with the beauty that God gave you, and then still be able to work on yourself and say, I do want to get better in this area. I do want to
Yeah.
get better in that area. How have you kind of managed to find that balance for yourself? Because I cannot imagine, us doing media and talking to people is one thing, but for artists, you're out there and you're getting people's criticism, people's praise. How do you find the balance to be happy with Tamela Mann?
I like how you said that. I have always loved myself. I really never had a bad self-esteem thing because I've gotten teased. My family, it started with my family. My brothers used to tease me about being yellow and by being little fat little girl. And so when I got to school, whatever anybody else said to me never did bother me. So I was good with the we call it high side. And so I learned to take up for myself early. But I did love me. I used to tell people I may be fat, but I ain't ugly. It's just it's just you learn. But I have learned to love me, and I think that even just in the beginning again, helped me along the way. But like you said, I wanted to be better. I want to just, I just want to do better for myself. And it was, sometimes it was very I would get upset, especially like going find clothes. Then that would make me, feel like, okay, Tam, because it's what made me even start the clothing line. I would go into clothing stores and I see a whole bunch of prints. I'm like, we already big, so why we want to look like a tablecloth? You got this in here that look like a tablecloth, and I just, I really along the way just looking at other people saying, okay, I can do better. You can
Mhm.
do better. I start, what and really figuring out what looks good on me. And I stay geared up. My mother, that's one thing about me. I always had to wear a girdle.
Mhm.
Even if it was a panty girdle. So
Mhm.
those are things that I've done to really pay attention to myself
Mhm.
and to just love myself along the way. Because when you don't have, you just got to work with what you got.
Yeah.
And I have learned to work with what I have, and the Lord has blessed me along the way. But I just really look in the mirror and just tell myself that I love me. I
Mhm.
love me. I know the Lord love me, but I love me too. And I
Mhm.
don't want to hurt me. So I
Right.
got to do better, for myself and,
Mm.
to just not hurt myself because you only get one body.
Yes. Yes. Our publisher, Munson State, always preaches health is wealth, and that we don't get a chance to get another body. So you can work on your career and you can do all these things, but if you neglect your body, that body is going to eventually give up on you.
And
And
one thing I want to add is I don't worry about what people say. I don't go and read, all those comments on stuff. I thank you guys for following us at David and Tamela on
mm,
all the social media and stuff. But I
mm,
can't read all of them because I never want to get caught up, Crystal, that this is about me, especially because of what we do.
mhm,
Us
mhm,
being in the ministry of helping others, I don't want to get caught up in thinking, you know, Tam this, Tam that. So I don't read a lot of that stuff, and people are gonna say what they gonna say,
yeah,
and I've learned that they are, and you have the right to,
mhm,
but I also have the right to say no to you, and I can say no that if I don't like something, I don't like it, and I
mm,
mean I think it's fair, but like you say, but being out there, even doing what you're doing, it's like people don't want you to ask certain questions, but that's a part of your job.
mhm,
And like me, we have the right to answer it the way that we feel
right,
is best for us, because everything is held against us. It's like it
mm,
don't matter what, but I've kind of gotten over that I try to be careful and not hurt people's feelings
mm,
because I don't want people to hurt my feelings.
yeah,
I
yeah,
just really try to be careful but not wary. I don't get caught up into the naysayers
yeah.
because they're gonna always be there.
They're always going to be there. Well, we got a few more minutes with Miss Tamela Mann. If you have questions, please leave them in the comments. I want to ask you. So we started with I mentioned your many awards, Grammys, Stellars, NAACP Image, and I'm sure a slew of others. what is your what drives you forward now? Like, we know that you've sung for presidents, for shut down concerts. I mean, it's evident. What is the why that keeps Tamela Mann driving forward now, and to keep creating and keep trying to get to that next level? What is your why today?
My why today will be there's still somebody I haven't reached. There's still somebody who don't know who I am or
Mm-hmm,
haven't heard what I do.
mm-hmm,
And to even hear my story, to be an encouragement to somebody, that's kind of my why now, is to let people, to get them to turn focus back to God, that we need him. I don't care how big you think you are, or how small you think you are. We all need God. And my focus is to turn their focus to him, that he is the I am, and he is our source and strength, and that he can again heal the land, and that he can help us right now. So
mm-hmm.
that's a lot, but my focus right now is to encourage people that we can overcome,
Yeah.
that we can. I know, not just because that's what the album says, but we can overcome, and that we can conquer. And I just want to give people hope.
Mm-hmm.
I just still want to give hope that we can make it, no matter how dark it looks and how cloudy it may be, even to our people. If we stand together as a unit, we can move mountains. Even all people of color, I think about it all the time. If we all just came together, we can make some changes.
Mm-hmm.
We can do some things in this world if we all, and not just think of, it's just the Asians, it's just the black people, it's just the Hispanic people. It's just like with the Haitians. I'm like, Lord, what can I do
Yeah.
to just help these people? Because it's like, wouldn't you want to do better for your kids? Wouldn't you want better for your kids if
Everybody
you
wants.
could?
Mm-hmm.
It's just, let's be honest about this thing. You would want to leave a poverty stricken place. You wouldn't want to stay in that.
Right.
So I'm just like, Crystal, we got to figure out what I can do to help. That's my why. It's like, what can I do to help?
Mm-hmm. Well, you have a gift that we are all blessed to have. Your voice, like I said earlier when we first started, it heals, and we look forward to continuing to hear much more music. I have one last question for you. And like I said, your career has been so amazing thus far, with music, television, movies, awards, tours. What is your most favorite career highlight? What do you look back on? And I'm sure it's going to be hard to pull just one, but what can you think of to share with us that's been the thing that's given you the most joy or the most satisfaction, personal satisfaction from your career so far?
I think, that's a hard one. But the most satisfaction for me is to be able to do this with my husband.
Mm,
That everything we have, we've built it together. Both of our names on everything. It's not his or hers, it's ours. And I'm so grateful to God for that.
yeah.
And I just want people to know that we all can build from nothing, because we built from nothing. But we work really hard, and the sky's the limit. And it can happen for you. It can happen for me, it can happen for you. And just don't give up. Don't quit. And that's what I can look back on. That just looking at us, I mean, man, I could just boo-hoo and thankfulness, because there was times where it was like we were struggling, eating potatoes, all kind of potatoes, baked potatoes, fried French fries, any way that you could think how to make potatoes, we did it one, because that's all we had. So
Yeah.
y'all, it's I'm just really, really grateful for what God has done, but not to be boastful, to just let people know that they can do it too with work. And the sacrifices that we made, you can do it.
Well, thank you for this candid conversation. People are saying thank you for being so real. Jesus is the answer. This is great. Completion is key. You've given us some amazing gems throughout this conversation. We're excited to be able to celebrate you with a cover coming up. So you all stay tuned to rollingout.com. We're going to be celebrating Miss Tamela Mann with a cover, all about overcoming and all about balance.
Can I say one thing? Y'all, I need y'all help. please help Mama Annie and them, people in their 50s, to download Overcomer, because we're not making the physical copies anymore as much. You can't go to Walmart and Amazon and order it, but help them download so they can have the music, y'all, because we all don't know how to do that. We got to have some help. So I need all you ones who know how to do it. Help Mama, Papa, and them download Overcomer. Thank y'all. I love you so much.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much again, Tamela. And thank you all for joining. This has been an amazing conversation. We salute again our Woman of the Year 2021 here at the Ride Conference Women's Luncheon with Miss Tamela Mann. Thank
We
you.
riding, we riding.
Got the pink blazers on, you know.
We
Pink blazer energy. Yes.
We doing it. God bless y'all. I
So
love
much.
y'all. Hey, remember, judge less, love more. That's what we're doing now. We're all overcomers.
Judge less, love more. Overcomers. Thank you, Tamela Mann.
Bye.
Bye.